All right, y'all, welcome back. It's your boy Jahan John Snow, and I'm back with some more boxing. I want to welcome all the viewers to the channel. Please subscribe. Y'all not subscribed yet, tap that subscribe button for me. Turn the notification bell on for the next video. All right, y'all, now check it out. Now, y'all might hear a little slight noise in the background in this video. I want to say my apology if it bothers you, but hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm going to speak closely, clear through the mic. Had to get this information out. Somebody got to do it, But I want to talk about these two guys y'all see, Subriel, Pitbull Cruz, talk that they might be fighting. And I want to talk about the junior welterweight division. The champions holding the titles in that division, and also just the division in a whole. A lot of guys, they're good boxers, skillful boxers that can compete. But I want to just zero in on the champions holding the titles. You got Richardson Hitchin. He's holding the IBF. You got the WBC, Subriel Matias, WBO, Teofimo Lopez, and WBA, Gary Antoine Russell. Solid champions, top contenders, here. Now, the thing is, and the question is they willing to fight each other? And the answer is no. You got Richardson Hitchin. He only want to fight Subriel Matias, Unify with Subriel Matias or Teofimo Lopez, right? He has not said anything about Gary Antoine Russell. Don't want to fight Gary Antoine Russell. Russell called him out after he beat Camboso. Asked him, like, what's up? I want to unify. I want that title. Richardson Hitchin never respond, But he want to fight Subriel Matias or Teofimo Lopez. He say he prefer to fight Subriel Matias first and then fight Teofimo Lopez. The thing is, him and Teofimo Lopez was supposed to be fighting, right? What happened to that? I heard what I was hearing that Teo was asking for some type of rehydration clause on Richardson Hitchin. So don't look like that fight is gonna happen. So I guess Hitchin, he's going the Subriel Matias route. Now, you got Teofimo Lopez. Look like he don't want to fight nobody. He don't want to fight nobody. He don't want to unify. He got this title. He need to unify or defend this title or get stripped, the WBO title. That just all need to happen, at this point. Maybe he'll start taking things, seriously after he gets stripped and be looking around looking there stupid. So he ain't gonna fight Hitchin, right? So I don't know what he's gonna do. There's only two guys, it's only two guys out of these four champions. It's only two guys out of these four champions that will fight and unify with each other, and that's Gary Antoine Russell and Subriel Matias. The fight that I was calling for, I wouldn't mind seeing, right? Crazy matchup if they fight, especially with the styles they have, both being pressure fighters, aggressive fighters, and, high volume punchers. Subriel Matias and Gary Antoine Russell will be a banger. But will it happen? Probably not. The only way I see it happening is they unify with the other champions, beat the other champions, and unify with each other for undisputed. It can happen that way, you know. And the reason why is just, you know, the politics involved. You got Gary Antoine Russell still with the PBC, you know, holding that title now under the PBC. And, you know, it's different with Gary Antoine Russell. You know, you got Subriel Matias, right, working with Turkey, right? And, you know, we'll get to that later because Turkey want him to defend his title against Dalton Smith. But you got Subriel Matias working with Turkey. Now, Turkey do work with some PBC fighters, but like I just said, with Gary Antoine Russell, it's sort of different, you know, with these Russell's brothers. And he only going to listen to Al Heyman. Now, if Al Heyman let him do it and tell him it's cool to do it, then he'll probably do it, you know. So, Gary Antoine Russell, Subriel Matias, you know, the way I see it, is the only, you know, two fighters in this division that'll fight anybody and unify, you know, with the other champions, you know. I don't think Subriel to turn any smoke down from Gary Antoine Russell, and, you know, it's vice versa. You know, Russell ain't turning up no smoke down from Subriel Matias. So, you got Subriel Matias supposed to be having his first title defense. Supposed to be having his first title defense. Instead of unifying. You know, I'm pretty sure he want to unify. But Turkey got him defending, you know, Turkey got him doing some, you know, title defense in November, right? But you got Pitbull Cruz, who just became the WBC interim champion. You know, after his last opponent that he just beat. And right after that fight, he called out Subriel Matias, said he want to, you know, he want a title shot, you know, at the WBC title. So he called out Subriel Matias, and Pitbull Cruz is a former champion. You know, he was holding the WBA title, junior welterweight title, and now he just picked up the interim title, WBC interim title, so that would make him a two-time champion. He's a champion now, again, but he wants Subriel Matias. And this fight makes sense. Makes sense. And I'm surprised that, small as Pitbull Cruz is, he's calling out this guy that's way bigger than him. And this fight will be bananas. Be bananas. Be a war. You know, so what I'm thinking, y'all, what I'm thinking is, hopefully, Turkey will take this fight over Subriel Matias' first title defense in November against the Dalton Smith guy. You know, I'm thinking Turkey might be more interested in putting this fight together. And Pitbull Cruz want this fight. And he fought on, you know, both of these guys, you know, be fighting on Turkey card, you know? So, let's see, you know, what's going to happen. I know the fans the fans don't want Subriel Matias to fight, you know, this guy, you know, do this first title defense. We rather see him unify, you know, with one of these champions or fight Pitbull Cruz.